Welcome to today's Sustainable Packaging Summit interactive Zoom session, in which we'll be talking about premiumization trends in wines and spirits, and how innovation in labeling can best respond to demand, and also how we can do that sustainably. I'm delighted to introduce 5 expert speakers for this panel. We have 3 representatives from All for Labels, which has made some strategic investments in this segment in recent times. Those are Paola Iannone, who is Vice President for Marketing and Communication, Massimiliano Martino, who is Chief Technology Officer, and Tobias Rug, who is Head of All for Graphics. We're also joined by Vladimir Tyulpin, who is Market Segment Leader for Premium Packaging Solutions at Avery Dennison. And last but not least, Bernd Dangelmeyr, who is Sales Manager for EMEA region at H+M, a Kurz company. So welcome to all of our speakers, and we'll try to burrow into your knowledge in turn. Paola, I'd like to start with you if possible, and to get some context about All for Labels activities in this space. Could you give us some details and some context about the investment that All for Labels has made in wine and spirits, and why, can you tell us, did you decide on a specific focus on this segment?
So many thanks, Tim. I'm very happy to share today this panel with such amazing speakers with whom we have been working over the last months in order to develop the marketing campaign for wine and spirits. At All for Labels, we have an historical passion for wine and spirits, and we have decided to launch a campaign with the aim to collect all the long-term expertise that we have globally, because during the journey we have discovered that all our sites around the world, specifically the one located in the main wine and spirits regions, such as South Africa, South America, Italy, Mexico, for example, for the tequila, or Russia for the vodka, have historical partnership with the main wineries and, of course, brand owners for spirits label. And because, of course, wine and spirits is a market expected to grow by $1.4 billion by 2027, we decided to invest in this market as part of course, a wider sales business strategy in order to offer to the industry a distinctive go-to-market approach from All for Labels, focused on providing innovative solution, digital embellishment, and of course a sustainable solution. Our goal is basically to inspire our customers, providing, of course, a real sample that will be printed, and we will cover many applications, because mainly we are trying, of course, to print the label for red wine, white wine, vodka, champagne, and we well know that all these kind of products are relating to some particular application. That's why we would combine design together with the functionality specific to this project, because we believe that only offering our know-how and sharing openly within our supply chain all our pipeline of projects, we can really build a stronger brand for All for Labels in the market.
Thank you very much. So in some of the research I've been doing for this, I've heard about the Motherland Campaign. Can you tell us about the concept behind this?
Yeah, so basically it was, I mean, when you have to design a marketing campaign, you need always to keep in mind how to make it memorable, because of course you have to be unique and distinctive. That's why for us, Motherland is first of all a global showcase made of 9 bottles. The first one has been released a couple of months ago with an event in Cape Town, and it's basically the one you can see in my backdrop. It's called Ocean Vibes, and it's inspired to the region of Cape Town. But of course, as said, we will develop in the next month some additional bottles with the aim to have also some itinerant events, because we want to welcome our customers at our site in the different locations, just in order to share and show our technical capabilities, our expertise, and all the embellishment that we were able to combine in unique design. The reason why we decided to call it Motherland is because basically we wanted to bridge the big message of this showcase to an inclusive message, because when you look at the design of the visual design of the campaign, you immediately think about an abstract design. But in reality, we created a visual code made of symbols. Each of them are representing some key elements that are representing the terroir. Terroir is a French word very well known in the wine and spirits. It tells about the sense of the land, and basically is made of environmental context. So if you think about, I know, climate, if you think about soil, it's made, of course, about product. You can have a product made of grapes, but you can have also a product made of agave, for example, or grain. But more than this, what is really sensitive for us at All for Labels is the human factor, because what we discover investigating through all our communities located in all around the world is that the same product cultivated even in the same region can have a different flavor if made by different people. And that's why we decided again to call it Motherland, because even though we are all sons and daughters of the same motherland, we keep some aspect of unicity, and unicity is about the real value of each product, like for humans and like for brands. So what we will do, of course, over the next year is to share all the next battles, to educate our sales community, and to try to bridge great relationship with our partners in order to, of course, rely on their innovation.
Okay, thank you. So you've obviously been thinking quite deeply about this market. Could you share with us what you see as the main trends that are evident within wine and spirits at the moment?
Yes, of course, the wine and spirits has always been linked to high premium solution. And my perception, our perception while designing from the beginning, also together with Graphics and Tobias, about all the different labels, is that there is no possibility to compromise about a high premium effect. But the reality and the message is that we can be sustainable even without, compromise with premium effect, and this was absolutely our challenge. So of course, premiumization will remain like a key trend for this market. However, we need to consider how consumer interaction is achieving and playing a bigger role, especially after COVID. As we know, we have a rising trends about e-commerce. So we need to consider that the traditional war and battles of the shelf has been shifted to the digital platforms. And today we need to consider wider what we can do digitally from a battle to an endless opportunities of website, gamings, videos. You have to consider that the World Advertisement Research Center has discovered that packaging is the second digital platform after video. However, brand owners don't perceive like, a powerful tool to engage their community. That's why, as a packaging converter and as a packaging industry, we need to rise this awareness, and we need to do more, explaining what are the opportunities that brand owners has to link experience for the end user through the packaging. And this is something that we are doing very strongly, also together with our division at All for Labels Smart and Secure, promoting a QR marketing portfolio. And basically you can have, I was very surprised to understand and investigate together with our expert that you can have QR for every kind of needs. QR today are also unique and can provide also data that are useful in order to understand each specific target audience. We can customize together again with our division every kind of call to action in terms of coupon, in terms of educational experience, in terms of gamification, in terms of augmented reality. So it's a really endless opportunity of digital experience. We need to promote linking, a very easy labels or sleeve together with the QR code, and boost this kind of approach to into the market.
Thank you very much, Paola. Let's turn to Massimiliano Martino. Massimiliano, Paola alluded to sustainability just now. I'd like to maybe just step back and consider what for All for Labels sustainability means. What are your key objectives and definitions of sustainability?
Thank you very much, Tim. Thank you for having me here today, and thank you for the audience for attending this important event. I would like first to reconnect with what Paola said about Motherland. When you look at Motherland, we talk about human factor, people. You look at land, so our environment, and then you look at products. And this connects very well together. And that's a clear showcase of our sustainability approach and strategy. If you look at our sustainability strategy, which has been advertised a couple of days ago on our intranet and also on LinkedIn, basically we talk about people, planet, and product. So it's a 3P strategy that we have developed and tailored for All for Label needs, and that has been rolled out. Now you will ask me, what does it mean? People, planet, and products beside Motherland. So Motherland resembles that, but I would like to go a bit deeper to explain what is the meaning of people, planet, and products. For people, basically, who is driving sustainability today and who will drive sustainability tomorrow are the people that work with us, are our partners, are our employees. It's you that today you're attending this important seminar. So it's about engaging everybody. It's about engaging everybody, making sure that everybody is healthy and safe, because once we are healthy and safe, then we can actively contribute. And it's about being an attractive and equal employer to attract the talent, retain the talents, develop the talents, engage the talents, and engage with our stakeholders. In this regard, we have launched inside the company several programs which are about diversity, inclusion, development, leadership, in order really to cascade and live these values across the company. Because it's about our people, and it's about the people in our industry, and it's about the people in our community that needs to have an impact to improve our sustainable performance. Okay. Then we talk about planet. Obviously, the first target is protect our people in order to enable them to protect our planet, because it's the most important resource that we do have. And for that, beside the educational programs that we are launching in All for Labels and also across the industry as well, we are also deploying the latest technologies that are available in order to reduce waste and emissions. Then we're also talking about recycling, which is a big topic, in order to basically maximize the throughput with less impact to the environment. I will discuss about it a bit later, but it's also we are very much involved into recycling. We're also involved into green energy and also responsible sourcing, where we partner with our suppliers and also with our machine suppliers. Obviously, we also try to educate also our customers as much as possible by sharing useful information on how to best produce to protect people and environment as well. And of course, we have several associations where we're a member. We can talk about Recyclast, we talk about EBPP, and we talk about PetCore as well, where we are actively contributing for a better present and future for the industry and for the societies. Obviously, we have certain KPIs. You will find them on our intranet. If you look on what our performance needs to be this year and how we measure the performance over the next years until 2030, we have ambitious goals in terms of people and planet protection. And the last important, very important pillar is product, where basically we are working intensively to develop a sustainable portfolio of products that can really add value and contribute to the market, starting from Motherland. Such products have the target to innovate and shape the present and the future by inspiring our customer, our suppliers, the communities, and all our shareholders for a better present and future. And obviously, we have several partnerships in place to do that.
Thank you very much, Massimiliano. Paola talked about the increasing digitization of the environment in which shopping and consumption is happening, and obviously the technology around labeling and printing is increasingly digitized. I'm interested in your views as Chief Technology Officer on the impact that has and the possibilities that it might have in terms of reducing environmental consequences of packaged goods.
So as you might be aware, Tim, we are a company with a digital DNA. We are pioneers. We have tested several alpha and beta machines that we made successful together with our partners and together with our customers. For us, digitalization is key to ensure the maximum utilization of the resources with minimum impact on people and on environment. That's key. And we see a huge transformation in the industry. And I also see a huge upside potential to transform either furthermore the industry, to utilize much more the digital capabilities that are coming up into the market. For example, I'll give you some examples. When we talk about robotics, in the converting industry is an industry where we could increase efficiency by introducing robotics and introducing automation in order to drive really yield forward and optimize production, while we could professionalize our staff as well to carry out more complex and advanced tasks. That's one clear example of digitalization. We are also invested as a company into acquiring online businesses, really to really show the tangible feelings of being agile, because we have customers that they're really striving for agility, and agility is key in order to deliver products with the best results and minimum impact on people and environment. So automation and digitalization is key to be successful. So you can take the case of Label Print 24, for example. Across the company, also in our company, we are investing heavily into digital transformation. And we see the digital transformation that will be key to have a successful and sustainable present and future as well.
Thank you. And are there any other technologies that you see coming into packaging that you consider, particularly disruptive and exciting?
I see that in terms of digitalization, when we talk about, so the digital mindset is essential to drive the transformation forward. But if we really talk specifically about technologies, I really see the opportunities for converters and packaging companies to either acquire new technologies that are coming up in the market that are fully digital. So they give a 365 degrees solution to really process the orders and produce digitally, but there is also a huge upside potential to use the conventional assets that can be partially converted into digital with several solutions. Across for label, we have digital solution that we acquire from our suppliers, but we are also specialized to basically tailor our assets toward a digital mindset and a digital efficiency that we need. But sometimes it's not possible to only rely on digital production. Therefore, we need to integrate conventional assets with digital printing technologies or digital converting technologies. For sure, I see a huge potential improvement in our converting areas and finishing areas, where digitalization is not really come across how it should. And that's one upside potential, but I see several areas where we could improve. And when we talk about wine and spirits, for example, the finishing and the embellishment of wine and spirits label will be much more sustainable for the future with the different technologies that are already coming up in the market that they're being tested.
Okay, thank you very much, Massimiliano. I would like now to introduce Tobias Rugg, who is head of All4Graphics. Tobias, welcome. We haven't alluded to All4Graphics yet, but maybe you could introduce what the purpose of that is, and why has All for Labels decided to invest in a specific packaging design unit?
Yeah, hi. So welcome also from my end. I'm happy to be here and to talk to you today, to this audience. Quite nice for me, and as well for All for Graphics. So yeah, you're raising the right question. So why we decided to go into this direction? Actually, it is a logical consequence after a few years, to be honest, because actually we are doing this kind of service since years. Yeah, but now. We decided to go into this direction to make it more official and to bring it into the right direction. Reason behind is clear. We have a mission. We have a vision how to make it more efficient and more agile for the customer from the very beginning to design a product on the right way. Also with all this, let's say, sustainable aspects needed today. Yeah, we have all these great design agencies in the world. We have all these pre-press agencies up front, and they have. I'm pretty sure that it is a must that we have this kind of service. But what could be more efficient? What could be more sustainable than to use an own division, knowing what to do from the very beginning? Because it's not just designing a product because of the appearance and let's say the design idea itself. It's also to take into account really the reality of how to produce a product at the very end. Yeah. And this is what makes All for Graphics on a way different to all the other competitors in the market, that we are thinking from the very beginning of the very back end of how to produce on the right way. So, and this is the intention why we said let's kick this as a new initiative, and we call it All for Graphics. And yeah, it's well appreciated on the market, to be honest. Yeah.
Thank you. And what's precisely your offering to clients?
Yeah, so we have 4 strong pillars at the moment. So we are talking about design, we are talking about artwork management, prototyping, and as well cloud platforming. So it's at the end closing the gap from the very beginning of thinking about the product to the very end of production. And by the way, it is not the meaning, and it is not the idea behind that. At the end, the All for Labels packaging group is then producing the product or the label, the standard pouch or whatever. The customer can also decide to produce wherever you want. We are, let's say, independent from all this massive heavy metal we have in our production. So we can produce with everyone. But yeah, at the end, these 4 pillars are in the focus. Design, for sure. It's again, as mentioned before, it's from the very beginning to think on the right way about design and not just doing design because of the design. To say it very simple, you know. Artwork management, and this is also key. We are talking about the European market. We are talking about international concepts, the complexity of all the rules behind the product, the complexity of all the regulations you have to face directly on the product, and all these kind of things is for a customer very challenging. And this is why we provide this service, also artwork management, to handle for the complete product range, to take into account all these rules behind, and yeah, to make it visible on the artwork on the right way in this complex world, especially in Europe, where we are talking about up to 26 different language clusters and all these kind of things. Yeah. Logical consequence out of artwork management is then cloud platforming, so that the customer can handle this on the way digital. So we have our own solution. We provide this to the customer, and pillar 4 is then prototyping. Also, there big difference to, let's say, all these kind of things in the market. Prototyping in our case means that we really show up what is then possible in the reality. So we, let's say, show on a way, how to say, at the end, what you see is what you get. You know, we know the fingerprint of the machinery, we know how to produce at the very end, and this is what we take into account from the very beginning, so that the customer must not make, let's say, compromises then on the printing machine to see, okay, the color or the embellishment is totally different from what we talked about the design. So we take this into account from the very beginning. Yeah. So these are the 4 pillars at the moment. But again, the range is wide. It's like a pre-press or design agency is working.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. And well, let's move on to our other speakers now. So first of all, I'd like to bring in Vladimir Tyulpin from Avery Dennison. Vlad, so I understand that Avery Dennison has also decided to get involved with the All for Labels Motherland campaign. Could you give some context? Why did you decide to support this campaign?
Sure, team. And first of all, thanks for having me, and thanks to All for Labels team for inviting us for this campaign and for the summit as well. So what we particularly like about campaign, that the project has 3 key elements, right? So number 1 is sustainability, and number 2, it's all about premiumization, and number 3, it has a great story. From my experience, when I first looked at label, I was like, which is just behind Paola, is Massimiliano on the background. I was like, okay, interesting, but what's it all about? But then I learned the story. I was like, okay, and now, you know, I have a kind of a footprint in my mind. So I remember the project, not as because we kind of supporting this project, but because as a consumer. So I remember this project and I continue to remember it for a long time. And I also want to take the bottle and I also want to study all the elements. Okay, this is it, because I remember the story. So to cut the story short, sustainability, premiumization, and storytelling are key platforms for the brands that the brand need to focus on in order to appeal to consumer nowadays. So that was the main appeal to us as well.
Okay, thank you. And so we've talked about All for Labels' vision of sustainability. Can you give the equivalent vision for Avery Dennison? Where do you see the key sustainability objectives and commitments?
Sure, and team, I would prefer to a little bit narrow your question, because we are heavy on the topic and we are going all around the place, and I want to be a little bit more topical and talk about the premium packaging wine and spirit segment. So we transforming the portfolio, so that's kind of the main things what's happening with us in the premium range, in the wine and spirits range. So as it stands now, we have around 21 different papers, films, like different face materials in the premium solutions in wine and spirits portfolio that have some sort of sustainability features. And if we look at this portfolio, we can subcategorize into different blocks. So number 1 is materials made of recycled content. In most cases, it's post-consumer waste. And so now in the premium range, for example, we can offer materials made of 100% post-consumer waste generated pulp, which does not compromise on product performance. So mechanical properties are still there, great wear capacity, all those things which are important for the segment. So, and for your information, if you use a post-consumer waste generated pulp versus virgin pulp, there's different studies, but you have around 35 to 40% reduction of carbon footprint. Second category is materials made of byproducts. So those are materials which are made of waste generated by certain industries. For example, grape wine production, cotton production, sugarcane refining, marble mining, etc., etc. So a little bit of a different angle how will you approach the portfolio transformation. And apart from portfolio, we also look at how we can close the loop, and we offer a number of services specifically to collect and recycle liner, which is a component of the label material. So that's about it.
Okay, thank you very much. And can you tell me about our crush and what were the opportunities there?
Absolutely. So remember, I just said that we have portfolio focusing on the products focusing on recycled pulp and also on byproduct. So our crush is actually combining both. So if I take as an example, our crushed grape, so this material has 40% of this face material, the paper itself, is post-consumer waste, and the 15% is a byproduct from grape processing. So it has both sustainability benefits, and also the second one about the grape, it's also a nice story actually. So as a brand, I mean, you can if you're engaged in a wine production, then you can use this material, and basically you can say that I'm utilizing the waste from my own industry. So, and we have a number of other products like citrus and barley from this range, but I will not go much in detail.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing that, Vlad. Last but not least, I'd like to introduce Bernd Dangelmeyr, who's EMEA sales manager at H+M, and really interesting to get a tooling perspective on this topic. So Bernd, welcome. What trends do you see when you think about your labeling customers and their orders and around design, and how does H+M respond to these trends?
Yeah, thank you, Tim, and hello from my side to the audience. Yeah, what I see as a trend or a topic, a special topic, and not even in the last 2-3 years, is from my side, I would say it's 7-8 years. It's more coming a trend and usual to use relief and blind embossing on the labeling, and especially not so the standard, because we are doing that with engraving, so we can really do this for as a, let's say, as a round embossing or a roof embossing, or we can mix them with structures and so on. And this becomes, in my opinion, really a trend. And this because the labels are coming in much more exclusive in the last years, I would say. And we can offer here a lot of different possibilities. From one side is the relief type, and the other side is the structure and the nano and microstructures. So we have here, I would 600-700 different standard structures, which the customers can choose out, and easily making a nice element on the labels.
Thank you very much. And can you tell me a bit about the latest tooling techniques that are being deployed in this context?
Yeah, of course, it's every year we are this is coming more technical side, but let's say the newest trend is, what I see is it is these matte gloss effects which we can bring in and with the tooling. So we call them nano embossing. And this gives, if we have these effects on the tooling, so you can use your standard shiny foil and get these made out of the tooling, and you get as a result this matte gloss effect on the label. So with just one pass, so no extra cost for that, and standard foil is used. So it's quite interesting from pricing, and I would say on the other side, it's really quite interesting in the effects.
Thank you very much. And finally, what contribution do H+M tools make to reducing setup times, and what other kinds of efficiencies and improvements do you think are possible here?
Yeah, this is which I would often ask for, if it's clear, because the runs are always smaller, and we're asked very often about efficiency, and our toolings offers that, in my opinion, very good, because we have really extremely low different thickness tolerances and fitting accuracy, and this helps here very much to reduce the setup times. And for example, if you are using a tool with a relief in a counter die, we have here a patented positioning system. It's called Easy Pin. So this makes life very easy, and this creates really no problem with make ready. So you can easily find the positioning. We can also offer our support through on-site or remote training by our application engineers, which are very experienced, have here very good experience, and could give advice to reduce the setup times here. And of course, our portfolio also includes accessory materials for the fine adjusting on the machinery, which helps very much also to reduce.
Thank you very much. Well, thanks to everyone for your answers and perspectives here. I'd now like to open up this discussion to the audience. So just a reminder for those who may have arrived slightly later that you can share questions through the Zoom chat. I'll start with a question that's just come in. Is anti-counterfeiting an issue for labeling? And I guess specifically in this application in premium spirits and wines, it probably is. Let's expand that question as well. How much of an issue do you think it is, and what are the toolkits that we have technologically across the different innovations and services that all of you have to help to combat counterfeiting? Who'd like to take this one first? Maybe Massimiliano?
Tim, thank you. If you allow me, I will take this one. So first of all, as All4Label, you know, we are studying the trends, and we see the counterfeiting trends growing and growing more and more across all the portfolios. Specifically for wine and spirits, the trend is not yet there, but is coming to protect the identity, but not only to protect the identity, also to really expand and visualize the brand identity of the product through different customer interactions. Can be QR codes, but QR codes is something that we already know. But if we want to talk about disruptive technologies, for example, we can talk about invisible inks, invisible watermarks, and I've also seen that there are invisible inks of different colors that can really resemble a Pantone. Now you will ask me, how does this fit with sustainability? And I can tell you that I've seen this happening through digital printing, which can be either standalone or it can be combined with a conventional printing. And it can be also connected to converting. And we are also able to basically protect the identity of the single piece by ensuring that that single piece has been produced and the label has been produced on a specific machine that can track and trace that specific item. Obviously, what is about also is about sustainability, because all the information in the future will not be all in the labels, but will become more and more digital or invisible to have a less visual impact, but a higher data impact, because we know very well that what at the end, the key part is information, and how we store and we process this information, it's key. And through digitalization, we can store, process, and transmit much more information faster and more sustainably.
Thank you. Anyone want to add anything there?
Indeed, completely agree. I mean, we see the trends, but it's a niche, and specifically for certain regions. I mean, if you export quite expensive wine products or spirits products in Asia Pacific region, there could be some challenges with the anti-counterfeiting. We don't see much happening within Europe, but yeah, things are we need to be ready, and there are multiple solutions. I mean, we as label material supplier, we have some solutions for anti-counterfeiting. All4Labels at their ends can do some changes to the product to protect it. So there are solutions on the market, yeah. But just wanted to confirm the Massimiliano's point.
Thank you very much. Okay, great. Well, let's take another question then. This is asking about digital watermarking, which is a topic close to my heart, and I'm very interested in the Holy Grail project, and I know that that All4Labels was also a participant in that, because we did a podcast about it last year. So the question is, will this come into the wine and spirits market, and will it replace QR codes or even barcodes? And what are the other opportunities that you see here?
So I guess, Tim, that you're inviting me to give an answer. So digital watermark and Holy Grail is a very important project where we are actively present. We have follow up also industrial trials. We've been present there. It is part of our digital DNA, as a part of one of our projects to promote basically circularity. Personally, based on what I've seen, I see that fast consumer goods are prominently in need of such solution, because really that's where we can recover and reuse most of the resins. And this brings us to circularity, resin recovery and reusage. Obviously, in the wine and spirit, we have several challenges. So I don't see it as the first priority for digital watermark, which is related to Holy Grail 2.0. But obviously, I see a significant upside potential to use digital watermark for anti-counterfeiting and track and trace. And obviously, I think that the QR code will continue, because I think in the future we will have a combination. By increasing digitalization, increasing sustainability, being able to produce with less waste, increasing efficiency, we'll be able to include digital watermarks and QR codes as well. So I think they will come both together. Then depending on the product or the class of the product, and you could have both or you could have one. It really depends on where the product wants to be placed in the market, as Vladimir said, because it's all about how the brand owners wants to market that product, where they want to place it, and how fast it moves, how long does it stay on the shelf, and how long it needs to be preserved, both from a marketing perspective, but also from an identity and a brand protection perspective.
Thank you very much. I think you're going to be quite popular, Massimiliano. There's a lot of questions that seem to be of a technical point or rather an innovation focus or specifically addressed to you. But let's take one which maybe Bernd would be a good person to ask here. So we've talked about foil effects on labels, and there's a question here about the impact on recyclability.
Oh, this is nearly no impact. So the foil, we transfer not a foil, we transfer just let's say color, more or less. So it's this is full recyclable. It's no problem to give them to the standard process. So we have made here tests by Kurz with especially in the packaging industry, which is much bigger, let's say. And we have if the sheet is nearly fully covered, so 80% is full of with foil stamping, you still can do that with a regular recycling process. So it's no influence. Just, so really foil stamping is really, let's say, I would say the best solution because you have not a fully covering of foil, because you just transfer these colors, let's say. And of course, also when I can add these, we from the tool side, of course, also can offer these if, let's say, the bad foil is not, you will not have that on the label. You can also do a very good effect with a blind embossing effect. So with the tooling, so you still give these haptic effects. But of course, in my opinion, there's really no stress about, because recycling here, because the foil is, we are always talking about foil, but we do not transfer a foil. The foil is just the carrier, which is still on the place of the producer. So in this go into the recycling process, and the label by itself has no influence for that. So no problem with that.
Tim, if I might jump in a second, I would also like to reinforce what Bernd has said, because also, I've seen it with my eyes. So thank you very much, Bernd. And I also, I'm sometimes disruptive, and I think it's important from the industry. We see the trend of digital inks coming up, metallized digital inks, and that will be a game changer especially for the wine and spirit industry. In terms of sustainability, efficiency, productivity, and also customer satisfaction, because we will give us really the flexibility to produce anytime, anywhere, at the best resources available.
Thank you. Thank you. A question here that I'll put to Vlad. Are novel waste-based feedstocks such as grapes, are they scalable, or do you see them more as a niche which has, a great marketing sustainability value? And are there any particular feedstocks that are more reliable and scalable than others?
Very, very good question. So I'll kind of answer it a bit from one step back. So post-consumer waste, materials which can contain post-consumer waste are scalable. Yeah, so just if we move to virgin to recycled pulp, that's scalable. However, we don't have enough the material right now to scale it like to 100%, right? So when it comes to from byproduct, like we're talking about cotton, we're talking about sugarcane, we're talking about grape, we didn't have a full study to understand what is the full capacity and how we can reach, where is the limit. But I don't believe it's scalable to be a mass product. Those will be still a pretty niche product.
Okay, thank you. Okay, question for Tobias. What challenges have you had in setting up the design arm, and therefore what supports do you require from partners?
So you mean with regards to the Motherland design?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
That's I interpret the question that way anyway.
Yeah. So, you know, and as Paola said, that there is behind all the items, behind all the icons, there's a story behind. And by the way, and this is maybe the great bridge from the comment of Bernd, at the end, with regards to sustainability, there was a decision we made that we are using this code for application for embellishment to show that it is sustainable and to, let's say, a little bit to cover the concerns of the customers and to tell the story behind. Yeah, this was one of the big challenges in the design finding phase, and also then in the artwork preparation, really to use the right, let's say, level, intensity of embellishment, but not to let's say, make it on the way too shiny, too blinky blink, to destroy, let's say, the appearance of the sustainable approach itself. So this was, to be honest, a big challenge, yeah, especially for wine labels. This is a key topic, but I think this is a good result at the end, yeah. So, and also there, maybe coming back to the first question with regards to the anti-counterfeiting topic, especially in the winery industry, and this was also a topic we would raise then with Motherland. We have these. We have these particular wineries, we have these special brands, and they use their design of the label for anti-counterfeiting. They use special materials like we have from Avery in this case. They use special embellishments like from Bernd and his team, and they use special icons and items and artworks really to make it unique and to make it as impossible as possible for the competition to copy and paste ideas or to cover a product. Also, one of the big parts, rethinking design in wine and spirits labels.
Thank you very much.
If Tim, I can add something, because I believe Tobias was really, you know, humble, but his contribute to this project has been strategical, and it's the same we are living every day when we are getting brief from the marketing team of our MNC customers, because when you have to turn a design and a creative concept into a real label, you know, there is a lot to do in terms of setting the artworks in order to understanding what are the, you know, the limit of our tech of our machine. So you need someone like Tobias' team who can really support from an industrial expertise perspective, while anticipating the possible scenarios that you will see in the line during the printing phase. So I think that having such kind of team within All for Labels group is absolutely, you know, valuable, and we need to promote even more in the industry, because we want, again, in order to be agile, in order also to reduce the waste during the printing process, we need to anticipate the possible scenarios in order to find a solution that cannot, of course, we will not compromise anyhow with the initial brief and with the initial design, but we are the expert who has to find solution in order to make it happen really in the printing process.
Thank you, Paola. Okay, well, I've got 2 or 3 more questions that I'd like to put to you here. First of all, this one's talking about digitization, and I suspect this will be another one that's for Massimiliano first, but please jump in if anyone else would like to talk about it. So the question is, do you think there are opportunities to connect the whole supply chain using connected Industry 4.0 machines to consumers to benefit sustainability and also give consumers more information?
I guess I'm the right person to answer that, but I can also, would like also Vladimir, Paola, and Tobias if they want to plug in together with Bernd. To answer that question, Tim, I need to get a little bit of time because it's very important to give a comprehensive answer. If you look at All for Label, pressure sensitive packaging producer, Motherland, All for Graphics. So All for Graphics is the example where we are connecting and we are eliminating waste from the design phase before going to production. And we are digitalizing that. It's already digitalized, but we're going to fully digitalize that. That's the first step. So the first task for each of the converter is to digitalize in-house their processes, which is a huge task because the market is very fragmented, and the more fragmented it is, the more difficult it is to digitalize internally their processes and how the operations are managed. So I can share the experience of for labels, starting from all for graphics, but also looking at, we are running different 4.0 projects where we have big data and analytics, where basically we connect our machines, and we want to be the pioneer in visualizing the data live of our production machines, including the converting and finishing machines. That is one of the first steps that we want to take. We have partially done it, but we have a long journey in front of us because we also need to have a digital mindset switch, because our operators need to understand really how to interact with machines. So if you ask me, is it possible? Yes, it is possible, but there needs to have a tailored roadmap across the company, which is really tailored to the company needs and capabilities in terms of people and the competencies that they have, and that they need to have their beliefs, the leadership that we have across the organization, and then the technical capabilities that needs to be put in place. Solutions are available. It's about the energy, it's about the mindset, it's about the commitment, it's about being willing to change, to improve, and to drive efficiency forward. So the answer is yes, but it's a long journey that needs to be faced. The earliest we face this journey, the earliest we will achieve the results that we want to achieve.
So another question about the importance of, or the relevance of, mass customization and personalization. Maybe Tobias, could I ask you, do you see this as an important area for the wine and spirits application that we're talking about today?
100%. I really can underline this. Yeah. So at the end, this is really, and Paola mentioned it. It is a product of passion. So I also love wine. I also love a little bit spirits, but more wine. And to transfer then a kind of a message, customized and personalized on a way to this one particular single customer, is key to be successful then and selling the product on a different way. And again, we are talking about so many campaigns we have produced in our group, but also seeing this in the market for all these big players. And now with the digitalization and the capability that we can print it from piece one at the end in our digital printing machine, it is also the first time that for wine and spirits, this is really a reliable approach, because we can do it. In the past, it was not possible, is not the right answer, but it was difficult to make this with a small demand of a small winery in the South Valley or somewhere else, But now we have the answers all over the globe in all the plans of all labels, but also with our network that we can make this. So I can really underline this statement. This is really important, and it is coming more and more into the focus of our customers, but as well of the end consumer, for sure.
Okay. And can I ask you, this is my own question rather than audience question, but building on that, do you see mass customization as kind of driven by marketing campaigns and personalization driven by e-commerce and individual orders for, and do you see one of them as a bigger trend than the other, or one with a greater potential?
So at the end, this is a good combination out of both. It's easy to combine both with each other, and it's not that one thing excludes the other one. So you should use both areas to make advertising for your product, and to use this really as a good communication way with the end consumer. And the easiest way to make this is on the way a QR code is the simplest idea, but let's say the back end of what can be behind, what is the hidden message to the customer is absolutely great and big, and we have a huge potential there to combine this both. So I don't see that it is more digital. I don't see that it is more the packaging. I believe that the biggest lever is to use both yeah, and to play this on the right way.
Thank you very much. Right, well, I think that's a nice final question to end with, and we're coming close to the end of the hour. So I'm going to thank everyone for joining us today, and a special thank you to our 5 excellent speakers, Paola Iannone, Massimiliano Martino, and Tobias Rook, all from All for Labels, and also Vladimir Tyulpin from Avery Dennison, and Bernd Dangelmeyr from H+M. Thanks for sharing your story and your perspectives today. In case you arrived halfway through today's meeting, or later indeed, we'll be uploading an edited recording of this event on our Sustainable Packaging Summit platform, so that you can view it later along with any other Sustainable Packaging Summit sessions on demand. And it just remains for me to let you know that we have a lot of upcoming live activity. We will be releasing the program of our year-round virtual panels shortly, so there'll be plenty more to join and interact with over the coming months throughout the year. And I'd particularly like to draw your attention to our half-day conference, which we're running at Anuga Food Tech in real 3-dimensional form on the 27th of April. This will be focusing on the strategic challenges around meeting our sustainability objectives at the same time as the prerequisites of food packaging and the areas of innovation that can help us along this path. So you're welcome to join this conference in person at Anuga Food Tech in Cologne, Germany on 27th of April, or else to follow it virtually, as we'll be streaming it to the Sustainable Packaging Summit platform. So details of that can be found on the Packaging Europe website. For now, thank you very much for engaging, and thanks again to our 5 speakers. Have a great day.